Hello everybody, welcome to you. What a start to a night. Come to a place that has an amazing history, and the very first thing we notice is it's already beyond freezing. Look at this. It is solid, frozen, solid as far as the eye can see. I'm not going to try walking across it because the last time I was out, it's only about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I went down up to my thigh, so shan't be taking that chance. But this just tells you how inhospitable this whole place used to be. And we are very close to houses, although we'll not be once we get it. If you just look, houses all the way around here. People watching telly, having treats like you lot, while we freeze our buns off. My name's Alan Robson, I'm the ghost historian. Behind the camera we have award-winning producer, Hollywood Tony McShane, and we have a place that a long time ago used to be known as Pegswood. And that's where we are tonight. Now, in more recent times, they have tried to rejig why this place was called Pegswood. Now it's P-I-C-G. Now I don't know in the English language any word that has a C-G ending to it. Pegswood. The enclosure, the settlement of Pegswood, and Viking, probably more likely Anglo-Saxon, owned all of this, because back then there wasn't half the number of people as there are today. So therefore you got a lot more land for your money, for serving somebody. The thing that's most mind-blowing about this particular place, it's a small village. It's not massive, it's not huge by any stretch. And yet there's people lived here for 6,000 years BC. That means for 8,000 years people have lived here. 8,000 years. They've had settlements, they've had farms since the Mesolithic period. Also, a lot more people lived here in the Neolithic and the Bronze Age and the Iron Age. And who knows what adventures happened here. Well, I know. I don't know what happened then. There's very little history about it. They found a number of middens, and weirdly, that seems to be the reason why we get to know so much about the people who lived here through what they left behind in their poo pail, essentially. We get to find out what they ate. We found out what animals they had, because the bones are down there and they never wasted a thing. Now, here we have the car park, a little mini frozen lake, but we're going up there, up this dark passage, all the way up, a little bit of steepness. Now, I mentioned before that they've tried to rename what this place is all about. Well, it's Pegswood, and they've started calling it Pegswood because initially they thought it was Pegswood, an enclosure for pigs, and it wasn't. It was this man Peg. The mining story here is massive, but before that we've got a few more years in history to go through. But you've got to keep your eyes peeled, because normally when we do any of these specials, we're normally working on history every time. This time we've actually got 3 ghost stories from the same neck of the woods. So you'll get the history, you'll also get a little bit more of the esoteric and paranormal side, because 3 people have contacted me about this place, all at different times, which is pretty cool. So let's head in the direction. Oh, You hear that strange noise? I noticed that there's a couple of people up here as well, so we shall not worry about that. In fact, it might be the perfect time for us actually. No, we'll take a trail on the way back. We'll take a trail on the way back. This, getting some strange noise just off to the right hand side. We know that there's the odd dog walker about, and we're told that the main bulk of this is climbing a hill. We're actually climbing a slag heap is what we're doing. So Tony, if you want to head out front, I'll come up the oh, look at this. Great woods in all directions. I wonder what's down there. We want to check it all out. And also we don't want to bother people that are just out for a walk or a smoke or a what. Well, let's do that. Head up. Absolutely, in all good conscience. You know, I was trying to find a story from this place that set it alight. I want stories of blood and thunder. I think this is the wrong way, Tony, because we should be going up. And I think, all right, yeah, stay on the grass. Look at this, look at this. Now, we're told that one of the woods, actually quite near the car park, it could be this. Oh, look at there's trails in all directions. It might be this one. It's starting to ice up under your feet, yeah. But there's still a little bit of mud there. I'd stick to the edges. Oh, look at this. How quiet it is. Now, going back into ancient history, there was a massive battle here on this ground. There's been a couple of them, not as many as I would have liked from a story point of view for you guys. But the northeastern earls, the people that owned this, the aristocracy, they decided that they were going to team up, they were going to ally themselves. Oh, look at this, this is creepy. They were going to ally themselves against King John. Now, any time that you watch a Robin Hood film normally, they always say Prince John wanted the throne off King Richard. Well, historically, no, he didn't. But I don't want to spoil good stories, but that's getting banging again. But King John is another matter entirely. He was a mercenary, bit of a get, frankly. Most people that knew him didn't like him. Most people that, oh, hang on, getting some stuff over there. No, Prince John treated the people in the north really, really super badly. Mercenary, wanting every penny of taxes so that he could go off and spend it in foreign wars. But because of the people here, and I mean, it's hard to believe that anybody running Pegswood, and no disrespect, Pegswoodians, but nobody would have thought that the people from Pegswood would have any shout at all to tell a king what to do. But the northern earls and barons decided that they were going to force the king. In other words, we're not going to send you any taxes unless you listen to what we have to say. And he ends up signing the Magna Carta. Now, that document itself and I know a lot of people talk about it and say, oh, they signed the Magna Carta, as if it really meant a lot. And it really did. It was the first document in the history of all the kings of England that declares unequivocally that the King or Queen of England has to obey the laws of England. Now that was massive for its time. And because he'd been forced to sign it, and then the barony up here, yes, you can pay your taxes now, stick your pennies in, happy days. He then sent an army up north to wipe out some of the barons and steal their land. So, yes, he had to obey the law, but he could still brutalise, torture and murder. And that's what happened right here. They came to Pegswood and flattened the place. And it wasn't particularly large then, and it's certainly not particularly large now. Now we've got 3 good ghost stories about this place. 3 good ghost stories. So listen out. If you hear anything, if you see anything, what we're going to be doing in about an hour or so, we're going to go back to the car. We've got Suki, we've got all of our traps. We're going to be going into the woods where one of the best of our ghost stories was said to take place. And we're going to see if we can stir something up. Look at this place. Don't know about you, Tony, but how still is it up here? The weird thing was when 2 guys walk past you without a torch.
I know.
And you're thinking, what? What have they got planned? Let's hope it's not us. Now a lot of these woods have been planted, replanted, because you can always tell that when it looks like there's almost rows. Do you see what I mean? You know, when you look down here, row of trees, row of trees. This is modern day planting, but on the land where all of the original history took place. So let's slowly tip back. Keep your eyes peeled for anything. If we've got people, I've just heard, did you hear that? Almost like a child. Just ahead. At first I thought it was cat-like, but it kind of rounded itself off. Getting a bit of noise over here, Tony. Don't know whether you heard that, everybody at home. Got to watch for these. Nearly fell over one before. Let's are we on the trail? Oh, don't say we're lost already. I think it's over here. Is it? Or is that it? No, it's here. It's here, Tony. Yeah, it's here. That's the problem. I've said this before, because when I'm doing my plotting and my planning, it's on Google Earth, and the roads don't take you into places like this. Yeah, this looks like the boy. Is that a train? Yeah, it is. Look at that. Wow. Trying to keep off the muddiest part of the track, which is here. Trees literally tipping over here. Question is, I think it'll be, I'm guessing this one. Or maybe not. Maybe that one. Yeah, I think this is where we came. Do you notice the ground is becoming hard and sheet icy? The silvering. Yeah, it is. Now, right, let's take this one, see where it brings us out. Now, I've heard and I've looked for stories of witchcraft, and this is an area that has a heavyweight history of things witchy occurring here, and I tried to find the name of anybody, and no names apart from the witches, many of them that were hanged on Newcastle's town moor. They were active here. The two kinds of ghosts we're looking for, I'll tip you off what they are before we go any further. This was a colliery. This was in fact Pegswood Colliery. It's very close to another one, Old Bank Colliery. And there, did you hear that? Whistle?
Yeah, definitely.
Whistle's a really good sign. Unless it's a real person. The second, so one ghost is a pitman. The most common sightings here are children, little tiny kids. And that's part of the mystery that we have to try and work out today. Between you guys at home, I couldn't find anything about this park here at Pegswood, community park, mentioning kids at all. Nothing, not a thing. So using the rods, using the necromancer, we'll give this place a look. I'm tempted to put the necromancer on now too, while we're here, because I am aware that this is where so much stuff has happened. In fact, I'm going to go over there and do it properly. Yeah, it's solid. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. Oh, dear. Yeah, it's firming up nice. Look at the ice on that. Jeepers. Right, come on then. Come on, if there's anything here, you want you. Right. See how muddy that is, so. Ah. There's a gang of kids up yonder, so we'll go the other way. We're not going to get it if we're plagued with people, so. I know. But we'll go up there. This is the slag heap, you see, from the pit, so I want to go up that other track where they said that they saw the children. If there's anyone there, make yourself known. What's your name? Hello, what's your name? Give me. I want your name. Give me a name. Give me a name. Who are you? Why are you here? Right, try up here. Is it worth us checking the car? Yeah. So our apologies for this, but we have been warned about activity here, but we didn't have much choice because we wanted to do it historically. Dogs in the village below. Just knock this off for the moment. And keep your eyes open for anything here. There's a couple of great little trails into the woods on this side. We'll be taking a look up there. Do you want to stay here, Tony, and I'll go down and just give it a quick eyeball. If everything's all right, we'll go up one of these. Looks all right. You're on the very end, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, oh, look at this. Right. Do you want to lead the way, Tony? This should be... Look at this. I know, it's creepy as hell. I shouldn't have said anything because it's switched off. This land here used to belong to a man whose name was Robert Pinzon. Robert Pinzon. And he used to pay rent to own all of this. Wonder if you can guess how much his rent was, Tony?
How much?
2 geese a year.
2 geese, wow.
How about that? All this, and it's hard to believe, but everything that's under your feet now was a slag heap made up of diggings from the colliery. All of this used to be flat meadowland. In fact, they've got a thing called Pegswood Meadow on the other side of Pegswood. Flat. This was exactly the same. Can you imagine how much mining you'd have to do to create this? So all of this could have been yours for 2 geese.
We do have a plan B, don't we, to go down to the...
Shall we do that?
might have to.
Yeah, come on then, let's just do it. Oh, what a damn shame. What a damn shame. Come on then, let's do that. I understand the need. There's a group of kids hanging out, shouting and yelling. if we get to a place where all that's going on, you can't tell what's real and what's not. So let's go to our next site. We'll keep you with us in the car, don't worry. Well, I think they're very daft, but the whole point of us doing what we're doing was to do it at a time of the year when numpties wouldn't be out in force, but unfortunately sometimes they still are, so not to worry. So sorry about this. I'll still tell you the stories because we're staying in Pegswood. We're just going to, there's potentially 2 different locations, so, and the stories are all about Pegswood. So fortunately in this particular instance we can do it. Careful, Tony, there's a lot of clarity here. Oh, that's annoying. Sorry about that, everybody, but I do what's needed to be done. Do you want to give it a click, Tony, and I'll get in and you can hand me everything. Thanks, man. Now this actually happens to be Butcher's Lane. And why was it called Butcher's Lane? I was looking for a story of massacre or something like that, when in fact, funnily enough, this part of the world is renowned for some of the best butchers, actual butchers in the world. And Pegswood at one time was on the edge of an area for hunting. And the place where we're actually going, not the cemetery, but when we go possibly beyond the cemetery, was known for wild boar. And then of course they did what everybody does, and that is hunted the boar to extinction. And then in 1408 King James I came back up here to Pegswood and re-released a whole batch of German boar. What the hell? Now, look, this thing isn't switched on. Now, I don't know whether you... it's not switched on, otherwise there'd be a red button. But it's still making noise, which is kind of odd, like we might have taken something with us. Now, we're looking for a huge roundabout. I don't think it might be this one. I'm not sure. It's the Bothell roundabout. If this is... No, this is Pegswood roundabout. It's the next one we want.
This is
the cemetery. That's fine. Pull in here. That's cool. That's the roundabout there with the statue on it, Tony. Just there. Just there. Do you see it? I'm not sure the public can, but let's have a walk down and grab it while I'm telling the tale, because there may well be in this area, supposedly, the ghost of a wild boar. I don't think we've ever tried to cover a ghost pig before, but hey-ho, here we are. Just bear with me. Got a bit of stuff to get out now, because we're doing some of the stories that were part of our plan B. Oh. Still not on, still chunkering away. Right, Tony, I'll switch this off for now. Put it in my poke. Now, can you actually see the statue? Now, we're talking about pigs, so wild boar extinct since the 1300s. About 1308, there were no more wild pigs anywhere in Northumberland. Hunted to extinction. So, King James I, who loved hunting boar with a spear or a lance, loved doing that. So, he, yeah, this is definitely the one. So he went to the Germans and asked if the Germans would come and give him a hand, and let him have some wild boar. There he is. I'm just trying to find the best place for you to see it. I think it's going to be from the island, Tony. Now this, oh, that's his backside. Oh, that's not good. Sorry, mate. Yeah, okay. It's not his finest side, in fairness. When you're coming up the main road, which is, I think, that direction there, he looks magnificent. It's one of the best roundabout statues you've ever seen. Look at that. But the thing that's fantastic about it, his nickname is Robin of Pegswood, because he's firing an arrow, but he's a miner with a miner's helmet on. And there's the shovel at the very end. Just how cool is that? Look at the ribs, look at the muscle hacking away at a seam. Robin of Pegswood. A lot of people who don't come down here, because the vast majority of people on Tyneside, you know, wouldn't have any cause to come down here. But if you get the chance, you really should, because he looks just stunning. And even just travelling along the road, it's worth doing. But let's get back to that cemetery. Careful, Tony. Love that statue. Ashington, that way. Morpeth, that way. We're going the Pegswood way. Now the moor may well be the second place we go, because there's an awful lot of stories on Pegswood Common, so we might be heading in that direction. We'll see how we get on first here. It just pays to have like a plan B, because you just never know if you're going to meet. And we've had people that have literally followed us before and just tried to spoil whatever it is that they wanted to do. So we'd ideally like to give you a proper show. But to be honest, even showing you that has given me a kick, because I think it's one of the most relevant. Look at this place, fabulous. And we're literally just into Pegswood, on the very edge of it. And if we're looking for a place of silence, I can think of far worse places to be. And here we go. Now, there's a few special things in here that I'm happy to tell you about. The very very first body to be interred here, we'll check the buildings out on the way back, but because it's actually a little bit further in where there is an amazing ghost story here. But the very first body interred in this cemetery was a stillborn child. The stillborn child of a miner from Pegswood Colliery, because the colliery was the centrepiece of the village. There's a large monument that we're looking for. Keep your eyes open for it, Tony. A really large monument. And it's dedicated to soldiers. Thomas Hanking Miller, in particular, a Northumberland Fusilier that was killed in 1917, buried in a foreign field. Might be that one, Tony. Do you see it right in front of you? He was killed in Arras with an awful lot of other troops. Rupert Brooke wrote If I should die, think only this of me, that there is in some far corner of a foreign field that is forever England. And that's amazing. Amazing that he felt that way, that his life was worth giving up for a cause such as that. Is this? No, that's not. That's a separate one. Where? He's here somewhere. I'm not going to go around every single grave, but I am looking for something very, very particular. It's very neat, it's very tidy, and it's very loving. There's a loving feel about this place. But we're looking for like a farmer's fence with a tree that's cut down. There's a tree that's been cut about 5 to 10 feet up. So watch out for that in particular. I don't know where it is. What is this here? Is this more cemetery? Oh yes it is, I see, it's like an extension thereof. And you see there's lots of more recent graves. Do you see how many have tributes on them? That's lovely, you know. Look at that. When you see the number of tributes on a graveyard like that, I just think that's amazing. We're gonna settle down next to, and that's very current. May even be children because they're so small, those graves. And I don't wish to disrespect anybody here. It was said to be, if you follow the wooden fence at the back, because I've been told this tale about it, if you follow the wood fence at the back, you get a story from back in 1979. You've got to find the tree that's been felled, and when we're there, once we find the site of the ghost story, we will do a bit more necromancing maybe. Tony, look at this. Can you see this? What's generating the light? Do you see it?
Oh yeah.
What is doing that? What is doing that? I hope people at home can see that. I know it's obviously reflective of torchlight, but what is it? Oh, there's a brand new grave there, Tony. Don't feature it. Right. Heading over here. Beautifully kept lawn. And there's the fence that they were talking about, Tony. This is it. They said it like a farmer's fence. That's my reading of it. So we're on the right track. And we've got to look for a tree that's been, the entire top of the tree's been sawn off. And it stands about 5 to 10 feet tall, and then we'll tell the story. And it's a beautiful story. A lot of ghost stories, you know, people look for the negative of, but they've got one here that is really a bit special. And keep your eyes peeled, please, if you Now this is odd, Tony. Do you see this? I'm going to put this on this lady's grave. Love and blessings to you. If she's knocked an owl, somebody has something that's knocked an owl over as well. So that's for you, my love. Enjoy. And here, right next to a very, very busy road, don't know whether you can get through here, I'm guessing you can. Slightly claggy underfoot. Yes, you can. Oh, there you go. Got it, Tony. It's here. There's the bit of farmer's field, or farmer's fence. It's got to be one of these, hasn't it? It's got to be one of these. Because there's two. Maybe back then there was only one. And I shall go and set myself up here on the wall. Now this story is an intimate story from a lady whose name was Connie Constance. Out of all the mentions of this place, I could only find one story, and it happened here in 1979. Connie's mum, who doesn't share a name anymore since Connie was married, Connie decided she was going to come here, and her mother, oh, Tony, you don't think that, you know, the gravestone on the other side that had lot, you know, the stuff had been moved from it. We haven't been there before, so we couldn't have moved it, but maybe that was her mum, because she said her mum's name was Sylvia. It might just be pure coincidence. Just in case it's somebody else's Sylvia. Almost like it's sending us a message. I get that. Well, the story was that she came here to visit her mum's grave. Her name was Connie. Her mother was Sylvia. And she was walking back towards her car along the edge near where the farmer's field-like fence was, which I'm presuming is that, you know, the wood fence. Yeah. Now, when she was walking back, she got a weird kind of feeling. Now, this was first thing in the morning. She decided she was going to pop in. She'd been feeling really, really down because her son was in hospital, he was really ill. The grandson was Nana's favourite. Ever since Nana died, the son had had a bit of a health issue that the hospital couldn't shake. So she decided that she wanted to come and see her mum. And I absolutely get that. So she came here, she had a quiet little walk, and there's something, and forget the religious side of things, there's something beautifully peaceful about cemeteries. And what she did was she took a nice little peaceful walk around a place where, in our view, cemeteries, to me, cemeteries are like a launching pad. This is where the beginning of a new adventure starts for, this is like Newcastle Airport or North Tees Airport, you know, Teesside Airport. This is where the next step has already started. This is where the old cars are parked, that's all. Because the person's gone. But she wanted to feel as close as she could to her mummy. She came here and she put some flowers onto the grave. Who knows? May have just been the flowers. It's actually quite skin tingly to think that might have been just what I've just done there. And she had a few words with her mum and she felt a bit better about things. And at that moment she came along the fence, along this fence line. She was walking up the edge, heading back to the main gate of the cemetery up there. And all of a sudden, she saw, oh, that's the tree. It's not the two that we've pointed out. That's the tree. Excuse me. Something grabbing by. I'm feeling a bit of angst here, Tony. That's the tree, 100%. But she said it was by the fence. So when I saw those, I'm thinking, well, they're kind of near the fence, but no, that's the one. So it happened here. It happened here. She said she was just coming up here and she saw someone standing next to the tree that had been cut from the top and is starting to grow again. That's the boy. Or is that just... No, it is starting to grow again. Or is it just ivy? Could be ivy. Yeah, they've cut off the roots of the ivy. I think that's a type of ivy. Parasitic. But nature has a habit of fighting back. So right next to this tree, she saw a woman. And the woman was wearing a very particular coat. It was red with black edging along the lapels and black across the pockets. And she remembered that her mother, 3 weeks before she died, had just bought herself a new red coat. She'd bought it for a day trip that she and her friends from the club that she went to, might well have been Pegswood Club, were all going on like a bus trip. I think it was a company called Shearings, if my memory serves. So that's what they were going to do. And she'd bought this coat back in the 1970s at a shop on Northumberland Street in Newcastle that she says was called C&A Modes. Now I remember C&A, and they were kind of top end, almost where Primark is at the present moment. They were up there somewhere. And C&A, growing up, I always thought meant coats and hats, you know, coats and hats, C&A. And she'd bought this really posh, plush, very bright red coat. And here's this young lassie, Connie, walking up the trail and seeing a woman wearing the very coat that her mother had bought weeks before she died. And she knew it was that coat because Constance had had to go to the house and tidy things away and put things into charity shops and such. One was a church jumble sale. But she kept the coat. She had the coat. It fit her. It was in her wardrobe and she was wondering, well, I'll never wear it. And all of a sudden, right here, here's a woman standing on a mound of soil wearing that coat. First of all, that would be really cool, a tad creepy and mysterious. But as she walked up, she saw the face of the woman and it was her mother. It was her mum. And her mum standing there, resplendent in the coat that she'd just spent more than she wanted to look great when she went on this trip. Where I think she was going down to Scarborough to do a little bit of ballroom dancing with her friends and other people from the club, a couple of games of bingo. She saw her mum, and her mum stared at her. And she shouted out, "Mum, Mum," because you would. "Mum, is that you? Are you all right?" Not a word. Her mum just smiled. And then turned away. She started walking in the same direction that she was coming. She started bulking up a step. And her mother went behind this tree and just didn't come back out. And when Connie got here, she's looking around the corner expecting, well, where could she go? She was of an age where she couldn't lope over the wall, certainly not easily. And that was the last time she saw her mother. When she got back home, part 2 of the ghost story. She got back home. She took her coat off. She didn't even bother going to work. She just went home. She was utterly gobsmacked. Rang up work, pulled a sickie, like you would. And then she went to hang her coat up. in the wardrobe, and the red coat wasn't there. She knew where she'd put it. It was right on the end. You know those racks where you have loads of coat hangers and such? Double wardrobe. She put it right on the very end because it wasn't really her coat. It was something she chose to hang on to because it was her mum's, and her mum was really excited about it. And she looked, has it fallen down? Is it, you know, something falls off a hanger? It could be on the, it wasn't there. The next time she looked, searched the bedroom, no sign of it, searched the living room, no sign of it. She came back into the bedroom where she just spent 10 to 15 minutes looking for the coat. All of the other coats had been pushed to one side, and there on the hanger was the red coat. She'd searched for that coat for 15 minutes, not just in that cupboard, all over the house. Bottom of the cupboard, full of shoe boxes, couldn't have hid behind, and how would it get back on the hanger again? And she says she always wanted to see her mother again, or to get some kind of message to prove to her that everything was all right. And she got more than she bargained for, and now she's an absolute believer in spirit. And you could say, was it just because she wanted to see so badly? Maybe, but how do you explain what happened when you get back home? Could it be real? Could it not? You yourself work out that my 95% rule, look for the 5% that couldn't be anything else. And that's the only ghost story I could find from this. This is a lovely, peaceful, quiet, gentle, and it is a very, very gentle family cemetery, and the people that run it should be proud. Something moving, Tony. Look over there. Can you see it? There's something lit, Tony.
Oh, there's a candle.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, I saw that before.
Oh, did you? All right. I just caught a glimpse of something as I was moving. It looked like it was moving. Oh, right. Right. Well, to be honest, the perfect time, because we're getting in the car and we're heading to our next part of Pegswood. We'll talk to you from the other side. We'd love you to come with us. I haven't told you any of the ghost stories, and I would love to share them with you. So let's head on our way. If you'd like to join us and you're not a member, how do you do it, Tony?
Just hit the link in the video description on YouTube or Facebook, hit part 2, and then join, and it'll become available for you.
Brilliant. Well, let's walk back. We got one more kind of minor story. Look, and that wasn't there before. Do you see it? It's another tribute that's moved from a... All the others haven't, so this is not... We're not talking massive gust of wind here. There you go, son. Oh, madam. Love to you. Or was that Sylvia saying thank you for telling the story? Do you know what I mean? The next place we're going, we've got the rods, because there's a story at that end. I'll tell you one story from where we've just been, and I'll tell you the story of the common. And the story from the common runs an amazing parallel with the story from the slag heap where we have just been. Tony, I'm a big fan of these, mind. Snowdrops. You know, when you're literally expecting snow, they pop out and they're beautiful. Look at that. To plant them on the grave of your wife is a beautiful thing to do. Oh, there's another one. But it doesn't look like it's growing back, and I think that was because that other one wasn't it? And that doesn't have the farmhouse fence on it, so no, we were right. Cutting through.